Hey YouTube, Untamed here. So I'm just gonna jump right into it. I'm not gonna do any kind of build up. Here we are. So this is my new 2021 Toyota Land Cruiser Heritage Edition. So before you guys get too bent out of shape, like, wait a minute, didn't you already have this? And let's talk about the definition of insanity, right? So I mean, doing the same exact thing multiple times, hoping for a different outcome. So I think by definition, I might be insane at this point, because I already had this, and I already had the Tundra, I guess, a couple of times, and the 4Runner 2 or 3 times. So I think, yeah, I might be insane. But at this point, if you're sticking around this channel and you're still watching my videos, you already know that. So that's not a shocker to anybody on here. And let me just start off with, thank you. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope some of you can kind of puzzle together that, I don't do this for views, because if I was doing it for views, I think it'd be safe to say I would probably get something different, right? I wouldn't beat to death the same exact platform, same vehicle, right? So you guys are just, no kidding, getting a ride along, if you will, of the crazy train I'm on, I suppose. So, but this is it, and I am totally stoked, guys. Admittedly, and this is where some of you, I guess, depending on the type of person you are, I did consider a Ram TRX heavily. So neck and neck, really, I was really considering between the two, and obviously I chose this, and I'm very happy I did. The Ram is sweet. At the end of the day, it's still an FCA product, and I can't have a whole lot of confidence in that. But at the same time, you guys know me, as I've already alluded to, I tend to own vehicles for a shorter duration, although that is not the hope going into this one. We'll see though, right? But the Ram cost the same amount as this, right? You can had a couple quotes from a couple dealerships right around the same price tag, 85,000, right? 85,000, 87,000 is what I was getting quoted at for Ram TRXs, brand new ones, of course. So, and on paper, I guess, to someone who's not a Toyota enthusiast or a Toyota nerd like myself, when you look at a TRX and then you look at this, you're like, okay, wow, why would you not get the TRX, right? It's 702 horsepower, it's a supercharged V8, just glorious V8, glorious sound, beautiful interior, right? And arguably better than this in nearly every way when it comes to the interior, arguably, right? You got all that additional tech in there, which I would even argue that's maybe too much, but all that to say, that was the only other vehicle that I was truly considering aside from this. But my heart was telling me, yes, hey, it's the 2021, it's the final year, blah, 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 the stuff that we've already heard a million times. And I couldn't be happier. This is absolutely beautiful. I mean, and you guys know, I was going to already do the KO2s anyway, but Toyota had the buy 3, get 1 for $1 deal going on, just so by happenstance, right now. So I just capitalized on it and had them put them on right from the beginning. Not to mention, if you recall, when I put them on my previous Land Cruiser Heritage Edition, they ended up, I did 3 discount tire, they accidentally did the ring, the minor scratch all around each of the wheels, whereas I knew Toyota was likely going to give it a little bit of additional care, right? And definitely stand by it if they did accidentally bump it or something. So they all came out perfect. It looks fantastic. I did the same exact size as I did before. So these are the 285 65 18s that I put on my previous Heritage. And I think it's perfect. I mean, could you go a little bit bigger? Absolutely. Probably not by much though, if we're honest. And I didn't turn the wheel enough, but I'll do, of course, further videos of course. But even at full lock turn, you have about, the width of your fingers can go through between the fender and the tire. So this is about as big as you can go comfortably. So I ended up, let's talk numbers real quick. So I ended up purchasing this from Rusty Wallace Toyota out here in Tennessee, Knoxville, Tennessee, of all places. And I called, I wish I was kidding, I wish I was exaggerating this, but comfortably between 50 and 60 dealerships I contacted, right? And honestly, I think I emailed more than that, but I actually, no kidding, called between 50 and 60 dealerships. Because, I mean, nationwide, and I was doing a nationwide search, of course. Nationwide, I think when I was looking, there was over 125, 140, right around there, nationwide that you can find. Granted, not all of them were magnetic gray metallic, like this one here. Most of them were, of course, were Blizzard Pearl White or the Midnight Black Metallic. So that was the vast majority of them. And it sucks because I'm definitely, you guys know me at this point, I'm the type of person that, you know, if I can't get a good deal on it, I won't get it, right? So I've kind of become that type of person, unfortunately, especially since I paid 80, you know, I think it was just over 80,000 for my Heritage, my black one that I had. So I got about a $10,000 mark down from MSRP when I bought that, if you recall. So the one I traded in my Tundra TRD Pro for the Army Green one, the 2020. So I always had that in the back of my mind too. I'm like, I cannot pay more than that because I've already paid less for the same exact vehicle. So it was tough for me to pay a little bit more, but I did. I did pay more. I paid 85. And I comfortably think that about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, you know, yeah, I can maybe have gotten this for 82, 83. Perhaps, you know, and even then it would have taken some additional work and a lot of persistence to make that happen, but I think it was possible. But as I was calling, like I said, no kidding, 50 to 60 dealerships, as I was calling around, every single one of them, it's as if they all had the same exact talking points. It was crazy. All of them were like, no, unfortunately this is, you know, the last of the Land Cruiser in the United States, so this is the last wave we're going to get, so we're right at MSRP and no less. And I kept getting that. You know, I mean, no matter what I said or my approach to it, it didn't matter. Every single dealership gave me that same exact immediate spiel. Like all the salesmen just kind of had it hip pocket, it felt like, and not even like directly to the sales managers. But so they all gave me that. You know, I found one that was like, oh yeah, we'll do $1,000. We'll do $1,000 off, and you know that just wasn't going to cut it for me to actually pull the trigger on it. And then, of all places, I called this. You know, it's kind of a little bit of a small random dealership in Knoxville, Tennessee, Rusty Wallace, and when the guy picked up the phone, you know, I just, you know, I said, hey, I'm looking for a Land Cruiser Heritage Edition. I saw you had one on your website there in your showroom, and I was going to see if you still had it, and you're willing to play ball on it. He's like, oh yeah. So this guy sounded like Matthew McConaughey, for the record. I'm not going to try to sound like Matthew McConaughey right now, but so let's imagine a Matthew McConaughey-esque gentleman picking up the phone and just being super chill, right? Just super chill. It's like, yeah, I think we could play ball on that. Let me ask around, and I'll give you a buzz right back. And no kidding, about a minute later, he calls me back, says, yeah, I think we can do 86 for you. And I was like, okay, well, it's already better than what all dealerships are doing right now. So I was already thrilled to hear that. But of course, you know, it's always worth a little negotiation. So I was like, okay, well, if you make it 85, we'll make a deal, and I'll send a deposit right now. And he's like, all right, let me ask. And then immediately he was like, all right, let's do it. It was cool, rock and roll. So huge props and huge shout out to Rusty Wallace Toyota. You know, even just talking to all of them in there, they have a really tight ship running here, and it is, I don't know, a well-oiled machine in my opinion. As you guys know, I've dealt with a lot of dealerships, and this is coming from someone who's, I'm paying more. I paid 85. I'm paying more than what I paid for my last one, so I don't feel like I got a screaming deal per se, but all that to say, I mean, these guys are definitely customer focused. You know, I mean, they made this experience extremely, I don't know, I'm super pleased with my my interactions with all of them. So huge shout out to them. I'll go ahead and, just for fun, I'll link the salesman's, his name is Scott. Yeah, I'll link his contact information if you guys want to reach out to him. Of course, this is I think the last one that they'll get here, of course. But they do have a couple. They have like a Tacoma TRD Pro over there, a black one up there posted up, a few Supras over there too, you can kind of see. So I mean, they have decent inventory. They admittedly have sold out quite a bit, but all that to say, definitely pleased with my experience here, and super stoked to be behind the wheel of a Land Cruiser again. And honestly, just getting into this thing, it's just a immediate reminder of just how much more vehicle you're getting compared to the 4Runner. So I'll geek out about the paint for fun for a minute, because if you guys are like me and you're a Land Cruiser nerd, you tend to poke around YouTube quite a bit and try to find videos of this, but it's just hard to find. So the sun is coming out for us right now, so you can get a good indication of what this magnetic gray metallic looks like, and it looks fantastic. It looks amazing. And I was truly debating between, you know, the classic silver and this, because I wanted it to be different. I wanted it to be different from my last one, of course, because otherwise I'd have been way too repetitive, and gosh, I would have got extra eye rolls from you guys for sure. But not to mention, I mean, black paint is the hardest to upkeep. This is difficult too, for sure. As I know, there's a lot of magnetic gray metallic owners out there who follow the channel. But this, I think it looks stunning, you know. And I think that once you maybe black out a couple accents, excuse me, once you black out a couple accents, yeah, I think this could come together extremely well, as if it doesn't already. It looks fantastic. But that was one thing with the classic silver. I thought, you know, by getting that, you know, blacking out the, you know, the chrome bits back here, blacking out the Toyota badge, I think that could look extra good on the classic silver. And you guys already know how I feel about Blizzard Pearl, so I'll dial back on that before jumping into it. But let me know what you guys think of the magnetic gray. I think, don't quote me, actually, you know, maybe quote me, but correct me if I'm wrong. I heard this once before, and it might be off, but I heard that there are 200 magnetic gray metallics made in 2021, and you guys know the magnetic gray metallic and a classic silver were introduced in 2021, whereas in 2020, they only had the midnight black metallic and the Blizzard Pearl, so the black and the white, and they split the 1,200 allocations of this 600 last year, right? So this year, to my understanding, again, let me know if I'm wrong, I haven't really looked too deep into it, but I did hear that there was 200 magnetic gray, 200 classic silver, and then 400 midnight black metallic and 400 Blizzard Pearl. So those are the numbers I'm tracking to wind up to, hopefully that added up to 1,200. But so those are the numbers I'm tracking for this year. So if that is the case, even if I'm off by a couple hundred, you know, this is definitely the more limited option by a long shot, right? Just compared to, you know, last year being only black and white. I did opt, and purposely so, I opted for the only the second row and not the third row. Some of you are gonna be like, what the heck, man? Don't you have another kid coming? I do. And if you're a parent, only maybe you will understand, but for the non-parents out there, you're like, oh yeah, just get a Land Cruiser with the third row, you're good to go. You know, sure, you got seats back there, but they're cramped. You know, you get the third row, they're super cramped back there. It's a muscle movement to try to get your kid back there, because what do you have right here? You have a car seat. And what do you have right there? You have a car seat, if you have 3 kids here, right? Car seat, and then you no longer have your ability to move this forward and kind of lean it forward to get to that third row comfortably. Now you're in a position where you gotta like undo the back to try to get your kiddo back there. So all that to say, I purposely got the second row and not the third row, so we can actually utilize the cargo space back there. You know, and we'll put the third kiddo right here. We're gonna try it out, and it should work. People make do with it all the time, and with smaller vehicles. So I don't want to be too uppity and think that I need a huge vehicle to make it work, because I know people make it work all the time with smaller vehicles. So I'll show you the cargo space for fun. All right, and this is just the release, of course. A couple goodies back there. But there you have it. So, you know, if you have the third row, as you guys know, you get the seats that fold. It takes a ton of the space back here, and only for it to be a not so useful third row, in my opinion. Again, this is all my opinion. You guys might disagree with me, but you know, if it becomes a huge issue in the future, well, we'll have to swap out the 4Runner for a Sequoia. Pop that back up, hit the button. So as far as goodies go for it, I have a couple things lined up. Of course, the KO2s, that was the immediate edition, which I'm super pleased with. I love that. I was kind of curious about what the white walls would look like on magnetic gray. So it's easy to make it look good when you have a black vehicle. You know, it just kind of, you know, it goes together well. But what do we have here? We technically have, what, 4 colors, right? We have the magnetic gray, we have chrome, we have bronze, and then we have black. Right, so there's a lot of potential for this to clash. But I think, obviously, I'm still in the heat of the moment here and excited to get it, so I could be a little left field. But I think it comes together pretty well. And tell me what you think, guys. And I know, I guess, normally speaking, it tends to be like a 50-50 split on preference. So if you like white walls out, some of you do, some of you hate it, and for good reason either way. I totally get it. But other additions that I have, I did already purchase a set of Bud built sliders. So I was happy I was able to, talk with those guys and get a set ordered. It'll probably be a while before I get them, because everything is backlogged quite a bit with COVID going on, right? But I'm very excited to get that. And just talking to them again, I don't know, fantastic company. They employ veterans and just support our troops. I mean, that's the type of company I like supporting. So I'm happy giving a lot of my money to those guys for an amazing product too. They have great reviews, so I'm excited to get those on, share them with you. For anybody geeking out about sliders at all, I did end up getting the the angled sliders with the kick out dimple down, if anybody's interested in geeking out about it too. So yeah, that is to come, as well as a roof rack. So I'm debating on a few different options right now. I'm not going to maybe commit to them in this video yet, but just know that I'll likely swap that out too, because a lot of wind noise with this. I think every roof rack is going to have wind noise, but a lot of wind noise with this one. Not to mention it's pretty high, so I might consider maybe a little bit more of a flush option. If you have ideas, throw it down in the comments, per usual. I do love the fact, sorry guys, you're going to get me geeking out the whole time in this video. I love the fact that you got the black accents on the mirror caps, and you can actually see the difference of the black mirror caps backings, whereas of course on the Midnight Black Metallic you didn't notice it was just all black, right? So I think that looks really, really nice. And for the folks who are maybe just shopping for one now, or don't know too much about it, I'll give you the real quick rundown, because I know a lot of the folks watching this video already know the differences between this and a standard, quote-unquote standard Land Cruiser base model. But you got the blacked out headlight housing, which I think is crucial for the look of this thing. I think that is like the biggest piece that kind of modernizes the look, right? Obviously it's a super dated platform at this point, but that I think is critical at this point. So blacked out headlight housing, gosh, that paint, I love that. Sorry, I'm like squirrel moment here, but let me know what you guys think, either ceramic coated or PPF. So I'm gonna decide between those two. Anyways, you got the bronze, kind of that bronze gun metallic finish in here. I think it looks great. The darkened chrome, so the chrome isn't so just blatantly chromy, if you will. That's not a word, but a little bit darker. Same with the chrome bezels down below. This is where the adaptive cruise control, the radar, safety sensors within there. Of course, the bronze wheels, these forged BBS bronze wheels are unique to the Heritage Edition. The roof rack too, of course, but really that's just a $350 or $400, I forget how much it is, a pretty affordable Yakima Mega Warrior roof basket. And of course you get the Heritage badging back here, which looks stunning. I love that touch. And you can look back at my old videos, but I remember I hated, that's a strong word, I disliked the rear lights here before. I just thought they're just too big, too bulky, scream 2008, 2007. I just didn't like that at all. But now I really do like it, especially at nighttime. You get to see all the LED lighting within it, the design within it. It actually looks pretty good. So I've grown to really appreciate the rear end of this, and really just the iconic, if you were just to make the silhouette, this is obviously a Land Cruiser, right? So I love that. All right guys, well, a lot more video to come. I really just wanted to make this video introducing it. I guess the final point I'll make, the Ram TRX was an awesome option, and I'm sure, the excitement level and excitement factor is, 200% more than this. I get it, but it's just, you can have a lot more pride in ownership of something like this. So if you're someone like me anyway, I love the TRX. It'd be sweet, but it's too flashy, and this is subtle enough where you can drive it to places and not feel totally like a D-bag everywhere you go. Not to say Ram owners the TRX owners are like that, but you just don't get labeled like that immediately, by comparison. And the fact that this is such a trusted platform at this point, right? It's just overbuilt, built for 25 years. I mean, you can't say the same for an FCA product. You can't say the same for nearly every other product, honestly. I mean, most vehicles are built for 10 to 15 year lifespans. This is no kidding. The Toyota technicians that build this out of the plant in Japan, they go into it with that mindset. It's going to be a 25-year vehicle and it will last. And well, it's proven at this point with over 60 years of production at this point. And if you just look underneath it and compare it to a Tundra, if you compare it to a Sequoia, you'll see immediately just how robust everything is within here. So more to follow, of course, lots more to follow. I just wanted to do the intro video and again, do a shout out to Rusty Wallace Toyota out here in Knoxville, Tennessee. A huge shout out to them. So let me know if you have any questions, guys. Let me know if you think I'm crazy. I expect that. But as always, I do appreciate you watching and appreciate you sticking around. Till next time.